Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm here to share with your top lesbian series that are pretty much very underrated and also unknown on the platform of Prime Video. But before we get into it, please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts down below. So first we're gonna start off with The Librarians. The romantic plot between Cassandra and Estrella takes place in season 3. The storyline serves as a major turning point of Cassandra's character development. The spa where they actually meet is run by a family of being peaceful and vampires, including Estrella. They use their abilities to heal terminally ill humans. The series was first released in 2014 and went until 2019. It's very interesting, keeping in mind they don't get a lot of, camera time. They also start to build their connection basically by, the end of season 3. So we kind of do see them together, but not as much as we thought we would. So this one, that's why I have to say it's underrated. And the relationship between Cassandra and Estrella don't get spoken enough about. But I do feel like they meet, and it's also a very important, turning point of Cassandra's sexuality, because there was already signs that she was into women. But when she actually ends up meeting Estrella, is where we could, get the official verification that yes, she is into women. So go ahead, go watch season 3. And then moving forward, we have Into the Badlands. So this one is, I feel like it's very well known, but not as much. So Tilda and Odessa share a prominent lesbian romance that begins in season 2. Tilda and her adoptive mother, the widow, rescue a group, from an oil refinery. Odessa is among those, rescued and joins the widow's faction, the Butterflies. Tilda opens up to Odessa about everything that she went through with her husband, in this case her late husband, and obviously as they spend more time together, they create a closer bond with one another, and that eventually leads them into building a romantic connection with each other. The series was released in 2015 and actually ran until 2019. They got amazing feedback from the viewers. A lot of people appreciated the connection because it came out of nowhere. But I feel like it was very well appreciated. And I was kind of sad the fact that we didn't see them as much as I thought we would. But I still feel like they got, a good amount of camera time, even though I would want it a little to be a little bit more. But still worth the watch and still worth the mention. And then we have one of my personal favorite ones, Harlan Coben's Shelter. The 2023 Prime Video thriller series stands out in the mystery by featuring two distinct, in this case, lesbian storylines. Yes, they have two lesbian storylines in one single season. That is truly amazing. So the teen storyline is between Emma, who is a guarded gothic fashion social outcast, and a Whitney, one of the most popular, kind girls in school. On the adult, story time, we have Shira, who is Mitchell's aunt, who returns to her hometown to care for him in this case, and Anna, Sheila's longtime high school best friend. The two, reignite midlife after they had an affair when they were younger. The series is actually very good. Unfortunately, it got canceled, after just one season. But one thing I have to say, this one is about, when it comes to the adults' relationship, is about reconnecting and just, rekindling an old flame. When it comes to the teens' love story, it actually ends up turning into a betrayal. But you can definitely see that they liked each other a lot. But at the end of the day, there was betrayal involved. Highly, highly recommended if you guys, would like to watch it and they get a good amount of camera time. And that's another reason why I actually enjoyed it. Then moving forward, we have Paper Girls. It is a 2022 series. The relationship between Mark and KJ serves as one of the most emotional pillars of the series. Mike is, tough change working class girl masking severe vulnerabilities. She deals with passing anxiety after discovering she is diagnosed with terminal cancer, and KJ is a sporty hockey player from a wealthy family. The two struggle with her mother's, rigid expectations, The bond in their future is one of my personal favorite one, because they, when you can start to see, them just getting closer and closer and eventually developing a romantic connection, but also still trying to keep boundaries and deal with everything that they have to deal with individually. So yes, very well known, but also very underrated at the same time. And I have to say that, we can see how their story developed from when they were teens, and then later on teenagers, and obviously then later on in the future as them growing up even more. So there was also something very positive when it came to their storyline, and there's definitely something that I have, personally enjoyed watching. If you guys have watched it, let me know your thoughts on it, and what would you personally rate it from 1 to 10. I will definitely rate their storyline a strong, 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 strong 7 out of a 10. Then moving forward, we have Dracula in the 2023-2024, sorry, 2013-2014 series. The prominent lesbian queer storyline centers on the characters Lucy. She is secretly and deeply in love with her best friend Mina, eventually confesses her romantic love directly to Mina. Mina does not reciprocate Lucy's romantic feelings, viewing their bond as strictly platonic. Devastated by the rejection, Lucy is manipulated by Lady Lane, who convinces her to sleep with Mina's fiance as a way to cope and as basically extract revenge, which ultimately, destroys Lucy's friendship with Mina. Unfortunately, it got cancelled, after a very, very short period. But one thing I'll have to say, this one is about revenge. This one is about feeling rejected, and this is also about friendship and dealing with reality that you guys didn't thought would happen. It's a one-sided love story. The other one didn't feel the same way. They were, in a relationship. So it's complicated, very, very good as well, but it's not my cup of tea. But I still feel like it was worth the mention, because I don't see a lot of people speaking about this whole possible love, that we could have had on this series that is called Dracula. If you have watched it, let me know. And then we have the Shannara Chronicles. The primarily, WLW relationship comes from Eritrea, a bisexual main character who enters a prominent relationship with a princess named Lyria. In season 2, Eritrea, a human rover raised by thieves in season 1, is part of a complex love triangle, and in this case Lyria is introduced in season 2 as Eritrea's Mr. Romantic partner. It is later revealed that Lyria is a runaway human princess from the kingdom of Leah. Absolutely enjoyed watching this series. This is one of my first ever, like, not my first, but one of my first, lesbian storylines that I have watched, and I remember just being so hooked, to see them together, and just, to see them spending time together. They don't get a lot of camera time, and this was one of the things that made me really mad about the story. But I still do feel like, now looking back, I feel like it's super normal. But now looking back, I can definitely say like the chemistry was so amazing. I feel like the only thing that made me not enjoy it so much was the lack of camera time. But when it came to their connection and just the way they dealt with each other, the conversations, the chemistry, everything was definitely giving what it's supposed to give. So if you guys haven't watched it, go watch, go ahead, go support. This one is a classic in my opinion. So yes, guys, that's basically it. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. And I also want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. If you guys know any other amazing hidden Prime Video lesbian services, drop it down below in the comments. Until the next video. And I hope you all have enjoyed this one, and goodbye.